Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. Thank you all for joining me once again. So, the mainstream media is going to flip and have a heart attack. I mean, not one heart attack, but 80 heart attacks over Trump's victory. You know that, right? And who else wouldn't have something negative to say about this except Van Jones, the crybaby, just looking like a fool, journalist, if you want to call him that, flipping and tripping over Trump's victory. Now, we get into the blame game. Okay, mainstream media, they have to blame somebody. The Democrats have to blame somebody, right? And who are they blaming for for Trump's victory, and who are they blaming for Kamala's loss and all this kind of stuff? Well, Van Jones essentially said that, you know what, I got to find something to say. I got to find something negative to say. And it's on the Republicans. The Republicans have been the ones who have been deeming President Trump to be a fascist and Hitler. Okay, yes, the Republicans. Forget about all the things the Democrats said. It was them doggone pesky Republicans. Let's get right into this article. I'm just going to read a little bit of this because it's self-explanatory to anyone that has common sense. CNN commentator Van Jones claimed on election night that only Republicans call President-elect Donald Trump a Hitler, a Nazi, or a fascist. Apparently, this is what he said, right? The thing that I think that's most important to remember is the people who said Trump was a Hitler lover weren't Democrats, said Jones. They were Republicans. People who said that he was a fascist weren't Democrats. They were Republicans who worked for him. It's not just that there's these elite Democrats over here poisoning the well. You had a pretty broad consensus from Chomsky to the Cheneys that were very concerned and remain concerned. And that is true to some extent. You had some Republicans saying these retarded things. Okay. But it says, so the commentary says, while Jones correctly stated that some past Republicans who worked with Trump had referred to him as a fascist or Hitler lover, he was incorrect to say that Democrats, the establishment media, and the Kamala Harris campaign did not enthusiastically repeat those claims. And yes, they did. Leading up to election night, for instance, Democrat Minnesota Governor Tampon Walz, Kamala Harris's soon-to-be former running mate, claimed without evidence that President-elect Trump's campaign rally held at Madison Square Garden was a Nazi rally. That was the stupidest thing ever in the world. I mean, apparently this is what he said. Don't miss on this. Go do your Google on this. Donald Trump's got this big rally going at Madison Square Garden, he told supporters in Las Vegas. There's a direct parallel to a big rally that happened in the mid-1930s at Madison Square Garden. And don't think that he doesn't know for 1 second exactly what they're doing there. That made no sense to me because there were other events that happened in the Madison Square Garden that were big events. Does that mean that they were a Hitler event, was a Hitler rally? Does that include them in that same category? I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. But all these people make me want to barf. The establishment media, most especially MSNBC, put forward the claim that President-elect Trump's campaign rally has similarities to a Nazi rally in the 1930s. Oh boy. Likewise, Kamala Harris described Trump as a, quote, petty tyrant, unstable, obsessed with revenge, consumed with grievance, and out for unchecked power. Harris also referenced Trump's previous claims about the, quote, enemy within, and his statement that he would use the military against them. Read a little bit more here. She said, quote, it is deeply troubling and incredibly dangerous. Notice those expressions, deeply troubling and incredibly dangerous, that Donald Trump would invoke Adolf Hitler, the man who is responsible for the deaths of 6 million Jews and hundreds of thousands of Americans. All of this is further evidence for the American people to the American people of who Donald Trump really is. This is the stupidest thing I've ever. Okay, we're gonna stop right there because it's self-explanatory. These people putting their foot in their own mouth. Well, you know what? It didn't work. The American people spoke. All this idea that Trump is the next Hitler didn't work. Okay. Comparing the death of 6 million people to Trump is like there's no comparison. It's the silliest thing in the world. What more do we need to talk about? The American people spoke. And basically it comes down to this. It's obvious that the American people are not as dumb as the establishment media think they are. And I believe I know the reason for that. I believe the main reason why so many American people did not fall for this idea that Trump was is Adolf Hitler incarnate, okay, in so many words, is because they have other outlets, alternative news sources, which the elites are trying to destroy, alternative news sources that are telling them the other side of the story. The mainstream media, which is mostly controlled by liberals, are biased against Trump, biased against conservatives, biased against Republicans. How many times that has to be said? So, but people are getting tired of that. So they're turning to alternative news sources and they're finding out, wait a minute, Trump is not like Hitler. What are they talking about? They're doing their own research, right? They're doing their own research. They're looking into this and they're saying, this is not true. If there was no, let me tell you this, if there was no alternative news sources, stuff like Trump is the next Hitler and he's going to round up a bunch of people and put them in concentration camps and all of this kind of stuff, especially if you're black, he's going to put you in a concentration camp, right? And all this kind of stuff, people would fall for it. And he probably would have lost his reelection because there wouldn't have been, where else would they have been able to go to find other sources of news that contradicted the mantra that was being painted about him on the mainstream news outlets? They wouldn't have been able to go anywhere. It would have been the mainstream media that had all the power and control. But fortunately, they don't have the last word. There are other alternative news sources that are very good, very accurate, okay? Not a bunch of conspiracy theorists like the left like to always try to put it. And people are finding out the truth. And that's the reason why. Because we have news sources that are out here that are very good, that are explaining things to people in a way that they can understand it and comprehend it and embrace it. Pretty straightforward. So, yeah, I mean, Van Jones, he was correct a little bit in the sense that you had some of these nutbag Republicans, these neocons, if you will, these fake Republicans who were on board with the idea that Trump is at least to some degree some kind of fascist or Hitler in person or whatever, but it didn't work. 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 Here we go. Here we go. The media. Here we go. The Democrats and the media trying to play the blame game. You know, we got to find out a reason why Kamala Harris didn't win. When the polls have shown that Trump beat not only in the electoral votes, he squashed her in electoral votes. He got more than he needed. I think it was like 270 he needed electoral votes. He got over 300 and something of them. He got way over what he needed to beat her. But in addition to that, he crushed her in the popular vote. So what's the excuse? It's a bunch of old white racist people that got together and they just banded together. Man, stop it. Stop it. This is a combination of all Americans, black, Hispanic, Mexican, you name it. They got together and said, we're getting sick and tired of these liberal policies being pushed on us. We're getting sick and tired of the economy being where it is. We're tired of these wars. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Shut up. Get out of my face. We're going to vote for Trump. Shut up. It's over. Go about your business. We don't believe you. And I wish and pray in the ending of this video that people would stop watching shows like The View and all the rest, because they're doing the same thing that they've been doing. Why are these people still on TV? Now, I know people say, well, you know, you have to hear the other side of the story. And I get it. You have to hear their voice as well, okay? You have to. And it wouldn't be fair if you just had one side and it's all conservative. It wouldn't be fair. You have to hear the other side as well. But the things that these people are pushing are lies. That's what I'm arguing at. They're lying, period. Lying. We're not talking about giving another opinion. They're lying. They're telling an untruth. It ain't true. That's the problem. Unfreaking believable. Bye, whatever. Okay, but I had to say that. What do you guys think about this? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.